things that married couples do. And my name is Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation. This topic is interesting because it is so open-ended, and it really is so empowering if you think about it. The things that newly married couples usually do have nothing to do with marriage. They get married, and then they think, okay, I'm married. And what do they do in order to ensure or even to help their marriage go forward in a positive way? And the answer is they don't. They don't do one solitary thing. Why? Because we live in a world that you might say is fatalistic. We think we get married and let's see what happens. I've literally seen people, heard from people who say, well, I'm not sure I made the right choice, but there's always divorce. What? So first of all, before you got married, and by the way, this may sound a little negative, it is to me sounding negative, but my whole thing about marriage, the whole purpose for the Marriage Foundation is to change the attitude of people to where they can see the potential, the possibilities, the likelihood of having a phenomenal marriage when you do what you're supposed to do before you got married and as a married couple. The trouble is that the people who are supposed to teach us, they don't know themselves. Hopefully this is going to completely change your life and alter the course of your marriage. Because if you're like most people, you got married with the expectation, sort of the expectation, that things are going to be better now. I'm going to be a happier person. We're going to lead the Aussie inherit, you won't know what that is, the wonderful life that marriage promises. And then you get on to your marriage as if it were a ride at Disney World. You don't do anything. You can't even get into a car that way. You get into a car knowing how the car works, what buttons do what pedals do what, and you drive with the knowledge of the road. You didn't do that when you got married. In fact, before you get into your car, you did a little bit of research and decided what kind of car you wanted and the reasons why. Then you got a car, you opened up the manual, you saw what was necessary to maintain it, and hopefully you've been doing that. And then you're not stupid when you drive. You avoid danger. So you get married in order to have a better life. What does that mean? That means to be happier. And it's a perfectly legitimate expectation that when you're married, you should be getting happier every single day of your life. Also, you should be feeling more love than you've ever felt, and it should be ever expanding. That's a reasonable expectation. But like getting into the car for which you prepared, you didn't really do much research when you got married for the person who you were marrying. Too late for that. But you probably didn't vet the person. You dated somebody and you kept taking things to the next level without taking advantage of those levels to determine this is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with because da 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 da. So at the Marriage Foundation, we're all about not dealing with problems, but with making your marriage amazing. So definitely subscribe to this channel so you could learn to have a different attitude towards your marriage with the right expectations. But go back now. Sit down with your spouse and say, let's agree we both wanted to be happy. Pencil and paper time. We both wanted love. You can agree to that, because if you can't agree to that, wow. So those are the top line reasons for being married. And then you ask, what will make me happy? And now we get away from the Western psychological nonsense entirely, because they don't understand. First of all, they don't understand that your marriage is a spiritual environment. I call it the sacred space of marriage. Why is it spiritual? Because it's not tangible. Doesn't mean it's holy, although I do call marriage sacred space, but it'll be as holy as you make it. Your marriage is between two people. Its foundation, its essence is love. Love is spiritual. You can't touch it, smell it, see it. The Western psych folk, they call it abstract thinking. They say love is an emotion. So I'm going to ask you to remember when you got married and you were going through the ceremony, there was a moment, wasn't there, when all of a sudden you felt this overwhelming love. Scary, but I know you'll remember it. Everyone does, because it's so powerful. That is the love that you're seeking to enjoy and employ every day for the rest of your life. That love is why you got married. To learn, because you don't know how to do it yet, but to learn how to love unconditionally. Marital love is unconditional love. Isn't that fair? It'll bring you tremendous happiness when you tie in the other components of proper marital communication. You got to get rid of sarcasm. You got to employ compliments. You got to remember to smile, remember to express support and positivity. All those things are very important if you want to have the marriage you deserve and you should have. It just requires a little work, and we have done all that work of research for you, so utilize us. Come check out our website and see what we have. But you are the one responsible, because you have free will, for creating the most amazing marriage that ever occurred. You know, my wife and I are living it, but we're not the only ones. Thousands and thousands of people have taken our courses. Men take the course for men, women take the course for women, and they transform their lives. They're no longer in a stagnating marriage. And they could do it individually. It doesn't take two. That's some more psychobabble. It takes one to create for the two of you an amazing marriage. So what should you be doing? You should be sitting down and learning. Use us for that. Learn and then determine what you're going to do. Make a pact with yourself, not with your spouse, but with yourself, that you're going to do everything you can to make your spouse happier and make the marriage better. Make a plan and then work that plan. It's never ending, doesn't stop, because the mind is an enemy. But we'll get into that at another time, or you could get one of my books. Blessings to you and your spouse. I hope you appreciate that marriage is much more than what you think it is right now. And I hope you take the steps necessary to enjoy the marriage that you should be enjoying. God bless and take care.